So a few days ago, I was at the gym. Actually, I think it was yesterday. Um, and basically, I was like, I was in a good mood. I was dancing, just being myself. I think I was listening to Mamma Mia. You know, like what song was it? I think it was Our Last Summer, or it was Honey Honey. It was one of those. Listen, like I like girly songs, right? Because there's nothing better in the gym. All right. Um, if you know, you know. Especially Katy Perry with Taylor Swift, can't go wrong, right? White girl music, there's nothing better in the gym. Either way. So I was sat. No, I wasn't sat. I was standing at the back of the wall. I was drinking my water, and then this meathead guy, way taller than me, way bigger, right? Young guy, I don't know, probably early 20s, late 20s, comes over smiling like, I'm using this sport. I'm like, oh, okay. I smiled because I didn't care. I was like, I walked away and I was like, oh, I was only drinking water. And I heard him say, A, like this, like, A. I turned around and then I said it again because I thought he didn't hear me. So I said, oh, I was just drinking water with a smile, right? Because I don't see it as bad because it's true. I was just drinking water, just standing there. And he gives me this look like this, like this look, right? So what does that tell me? That tells me that I bruised his ego that he built up for himself, meaning he got mad at me because I didn't treat him as someone who's above me. Does that make sense? So he created this fake identity of an ego, probably over years of going to the gym and becoming a meathead. Clearly he's on steroids, right? So he's just like whatever. Insecure man. And most men are like this nowadays. Insecure man, right? So I upset his fake bravado ego energy by being calm, present, and being in the moment, right? Just being grounded in myself as a person. It gives me this look. Whatever. I go past him, I do my own thing, and then same day, about 20 or 30 minutes later, I see him coming out of the studio and he's just giving me this look, like neutral, like this. I was just there at the back of the, not right at the back, but at the back doing like pull-ups, just, drinking water, just being on my phone, just being myself. It gives me this look, like this. Like neutral face, just like, I don't understand. Like, people are so cringe. People are so cringe. They build up this fake bravado in themselves, and they think like everyone needs to like look up to me and be fearful of me. Like, no, no. You are just so cringe. Like, work on yourself as a human being, right? Like, go out, just die to God and learn that you are nothing. You're a speck of dust. You're nothing. You're nothing. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. You don't know zero. Nothing. Literally, you are so small and insignificant as a human being, and you have all this ego inside you. And I used to have it. I'm mad because I used to have it. I used to have that. I used to look at people in the gym that are new and be like, I'm better than that guy. Fuck that guy. He is so small and skinny. What? Calm down. Calm down. But do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Why it's ridiculous. Anyway, I see him today at the gym, doesn't even look at me, right? So clearly that just tells me that I go under his skin, right? Because I didn't feed his ego. That's not even what this video is about. I just wanted to give some backstory. Today, the video is about me. I want to talk about something called the shadow, right? Because we have to listen to the shadow. We have to listen to everything that's inside of us, because if it's inside us, if it's a thought, if it's an emotion, it's there to help us. Everything inside us is there to help us, right? It's God-given. It's there to challenge us in some way, give us thoughts, visions, to become closer to Him, closer to God. Excuse me, I'm still coming off from an illness. Right, so Carl Jung, who was a psychologist in the 60s or 70s, he said, and I quote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." What does that mean? I started making this video because when I was upstairs, so today I went to Muay Thai in the gym and I was really tired because I'm still coming off an illness, and I was just sat in my room, just breathing, looking out the window, looking at God, looking at the plants, the trees, the birds. You know, I just like looking, I like being in the moment. Anyway, I had this thought of the same guy in the gym, you know, who got all fake bravado-y from me. And I had a thought of me being at the gym with my sister and we're hanging out, you know, training. I go to get some water and the same guy goes up to my sister and like pushes her or like grabs her ass or says something to her, right? And then she comes to me upset, fearful, scared. I see the fear in her eyes and this instinct kicks in me. I'm like, and like, what the fuck did he do? So it kicks in me, and in the vision, I had a thought, you know, like those tricep push down bars, like the straight bar, the metal bar, you know, when you like use it. So I had a thought of me grabbing that bar, going up to that guy when he's training. He's not looking at me, he's doing pull-ups, and I go behind him, and I don't want to kill him, but I smash him so hard on the knees from the back. He falls over, he's on the floor, he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like scared, and I kick him in the face, and I just start like battering his leg, you know, just like crushing his knees. Now, obviously that sounds fucking crazy and insane, right? But then I'm like thinking in my mind, why did I get that thought? What is that thought? And that's the shadow. That's the shadow, right? And what is that trying to tell me? Sorry, I keep looking at the door because I can hear like, I live in like a flat complex and I thought someone was going to come in the door. And I like having my own space. There's like no one here right now. So what does that mean? What is that trying to tell me? It's trying to tell me that I have some sort of suppressed emotion that I didn't let through. And now it might be from the past or it might be from childhood or something. Now in my mind right now, I'm thinking it's to do with a girl that I was... Previously, I built up this idea of me being with her, you know, because I had like this night with her. I made a previous video, you know, a night that felt like a movie. And I built up this idea in my mind, like, you know, she's like this perfect girl because she lives so close to me and we are really aligned. You know, she's single, I'm single. She reads similar books to me. She wants to be better, but long story short, not going to work out. We're on completely different paths. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm present, you know, I'm trying to grow. She still lives in chaos. She still lives in distractions. She's still of the world, right? And what did Jesus say? Be a part of the world, but not of it. Meaning you have to be your own person. You have to be aligned to God, right? So back to the shadow. Me personally, I think it was a suppressed emotion when I had that thought of me battering his legs, because I didn't go with my gut feeling of, because this girl lives like 2 floors above me, and she kept ignoring me, right? My truth was too much for her to handle because I'm like a mirror, right? I was a mirror to her and I told her things that she didn't like to hear, but they were truthful, you know, that she has to work on herself and stuff. So she ignored me and that upset me because I don't like fakeness and just not truth and like no clarity. So my initial thought was to go up to her flat and knock on her door, just like knock on her door, like bang on her door, like open the door, we need to talk about this. You can't just throw me away like this. You can't throw away something that's real. Like open the door. And then me going in there and, you know, trying to sort it out and stuff, but I didn't do that, right? I didn't do that. I just breathed, I prayed, I went to the gym, I worked out hard, I pushed myself. So me personally, I think that's the shadow, right? That was the shadow because it was suppressed and I chose a higher version of myself, a higher aligned version to God, which was to let it go, to breathe, to become centered, come back to the source of your own being, right? So I chose to do that instead, and that shadow version of me got suppressed. It got put in the background. But when this guy the other day tried to put this fake ego bravado on me, the shadow was screaming to come out again, like, I'm still here, I'm still real. So it gave me that vision, that thought of me hurting him. That doesn't mean I have to act on it. It's just a thought. It's a until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is what most people don't understand. When they get these thoughts of hurting others and being like dangerous killer people, that doesn't mean that you have to actually be that person. It just means you have to learn from it, right? Because you suppressed an emotion from the past in some sort of way that it didn't come out of you, right? So, what does that tell me? It tells me that I chose the right path, I listened to God, I was aligned, I was in the moment, and it's until you make the unconscious conscious. Right now, I'm making the unconscious conscious because I'm talking about it. I'm bringing it into real life. I'm bringing it into the surface, right? So I'm talking about it. If I didn't talk about it, I would just numb myself, right? Smoke weed, take drugs, go out, have sex, get in fights with people. This is what people do. They numb their emotions. They don't listen to their emotions. You have to listen to your emotions, listen to your feelings, listen to your thoughts, breathe deeply. Everything you get is a thought, an emotion. Everything is there to teach you, to show you something, to make you grow as a person, to bring you out your whole so it comes from inside. It's an emotion, it's a suppression, but you bring it out by talking about it. You bring it out into the open. You learn it, right? Why is this happening? Why did I get this thought? Why? Question everything. Question, right? Don't just listen to don't just numb things, right? Stop pushing away things, bring them out into real life. Talk about these things. Doesn't have to be with people like me, right? I like talking to the camera. I like talking to myself. Now, even before I started making videos, I was talking to myself, right? I was always in my mind. That's why, personally, I used to love marijuana so much because, it increases the mind. I don't like it anymore because, it makes me dull. It doesn't, it numbs my fire. It dumbs me down and I don't want to do anything. But I like thinking, my mind is hyperactive. It's always thinking. It's an overthinker. I used to be scared of it. I used to not like it, but I know it's a gift. It's a gift to think this much, right? So, and I know there's people out there who have the same mind as me. They think all the time. It's not a bad thing. There's a reason you don't have a lot of friends. There's a reason you can't fit in, right? Because you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to be unique. You're supposed to listen to your own thoughts, your own emotions, and understand that you are rare. You are a gift, a treasure. You're beautiful. You're human, right? And you have to listen to these thoughts. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.